There we
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Free Friday coaching call. Excited for our call today. It's going to be a great call, I know, based on the conversation that I had with our guest speaker yesterday as we were preparing for the call today. For those of you that are jumping on for the first time, or for the 900 plus of you that are signed up on the email requesting these call recordings that may be catching it on recording, just a little bit of history on this call. We do it the first and third weeks on a cadence, always. We interview the best of the best in the industry and from all over the US, wherever those relationships are. It's a company agnostic call. So there's people from all different companies that get on this call, people that are brand new agents, people that are seasoned agents, and everything in between. And these calls started as a result of my late husband, Rick, who was 43 years in the industry, a top producing agent and a master speaker, trainer, and coach in the industry. And everywhere he went, he would give out his phone number, tell people to call him, and they did. And all of a sudden, that became a capacity issue. And so he created a one-to-many conversation with these calls that he did up until he passed the end of 2023. So in his honor and his legacy and commitment to continue to support the real estate community that we love so dearly in mindset and skill set, we've continued these and are very excited for all the people that have shown up to volunteer, to contribute, and to really make these calls that are valuable. The recordings for these are housed, and we'll put the link to where you can access the recording in the chat below. As I'm getting ready to introduce our speaker, this is a conversation for today. So if there is questions that you have or things that you want to say, raise your hand, put them in the chat. We want it to be interactive, and there's going to be a ton of value as we go into it. What I want to say in introducing the speaker that we've got on the call today is that there's so much to learn in the industry of real estate, and there's so much to do in the industry of real estate. And one of the things that I really respect and admire about who we're going to have the opportunity to hear from today is that he has learned what he has learned as a result of being a doer. There's a saying that says, work trains, training doesn't work. And he is somebody who has been in the trenches in his career for 10 years now. And not only is he in the trenches himself, he teaches other people how to excel in this business by getting in the trenches with them. And so I appreciate him for his style of leadership in leading from the front and wanting other people to win and being somebody that rolls up his sleeves to get dirty and get it done. And so, look, if you saw the promotion for this call, you saw that in the last 3 years, he's done, their team has done, an organization has done 200 million in volume, which is amazing. Currently 27 that are in escrow, and 21 of those are brand new agents that have been in the business less than 45 days, like getting people engaged and helping them see success. And so I'm really excited that he has volunteered to be our guest today and to share the wisdom of his journey. And so wherever you're at in your journey in real estate, I believe that there's something that you can take away from the call today that you go apply in your business that can change it and make it better than it is right now. And so I invite each and every one of you to be listening from that place of what am I going to take away and implement based on what I've learned and what we've talked about today. So without further ado, I'm going to ask him a few questions and get his story out. But Fadi, thank you so much for being with us today and being willing to be on the call. And we've
There we
got you.
go. You're
There we
good
go.
now. Thank you, Casey. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me on the call.
Absolutely. And I think probably most notable and one of the most exciting things is that you're going to be a dad for the first time soon.
Yeah, due baby boy coming in July 20th, so in a couple months.
I love it. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. All
yep.
right. Well,
So
for everybody that hasn't met you yet, um, I know you got your real estate career started about 10 years ago. Tell us what you were doing before real estate and why you decided to jump into this industry of all of the industries you could be in.
so to be honest with you, it was a bad relationship. Was with someone that told me I really didn't have anything to show for. And she said, you should probably get into real estate. I wasn't a big guy in school, and I got into real estate, and God has gifted me since. So before that, though, I was top salesman 4 years running at Montclair Nordstrom's in kids' shoes. And so I worked in kid shoes, and if you know, selling a shoe this big for $80 is not easy. So, so that's where I worked, and I got into real estate after that.
I love it. I love it. Now, as we were talking in preparation for this call, you mentioned that your first few years came with a lot of changes in brokerages. And talk about what that was like, and then what you discovered, and kind of what changed when you discovered it.
So yeah, so I got licensed in 2015. For the first 12 months, I was respectfully one of those agents that bounced around to figure out where would best, fit me, per se. Look at the splits, even though I've never done anything, never opened an escrow, but I was trying to get the biggest splits. It was all irrelevant. Um, what had happened is I got a phone call from a friend of mine that has been in the industry, and he was running a team, and I jumped on their team. So from Remax to Keller Williams, and then I was at Keller Williams for quite some time on a team, and 70-30 split, them taking 70, I was taking 30. I'll do it all over again. I'll do it all over again because the knowledge and education that I absorbed is the reason why I'm capable of educating 80 to 100 people at a time. So it wasn't about the money, even though I wanted to see that. I mean, we had shared yesterday, I successfully closed 27 transactions my first year in real estate. So real estate for me wasn't the money was coming in even at 30%. It was great as I was young, but the knowledge that wasn't aware of what I was learning was the priceless item.
Yeah, I love that. And one of the things you said also when we were talking yesterday is that, and this is so true for so many people, interestingly enough, until we have an awareness around it. And that is, um, change brokerage, change brokerage, change brokerage, change brokerage, and oops, everywhere I go, there I am, and it's the same me. And I'm the issue, not that. And so what is there for me to change and do and grow? And I think that's a really important, not to say that change and pivoting is not great, but doing it intentionally for a growth path versus seeking there being a solution outside of oneself that is going to magically make something happen that will never happen in the absence of doing the work, right?
Right. And I think the number one thing that agents need to remember, the brokerage is not the one that's going to water their grass. It's them. So wherever you're going, whatever color you're representing, whatever brand you're holding, it doesn't matter what the brand is if you're not willing to water yourself. And so that's what I've realized.
I love that. Now, there was an interesting piece in your story. You talked about being on the team and that you were given a pretty insane quota to hit uh, before the end of the year to be able to stay on the team. We
Yeah.
talked a little bit about that experience, and here's the context of why I want you to share that in your story, is that sometimes, well, quite often, the things that we look at as potentially negative or challenging end up being the greatest gifts and blessings because of what happens on the other side of them. And it's easy to get like sucked into a negative mindset or a negative space or a woe is me or a self-pity when look how hard I'm working or look how much I'm applying myself and this is what I'm having to deal with or this is what's happening. And so I think there's so much power in what you're about to share in that experience during that time and as a result of what happened afterwards. So tell us a little bit about that.
So it was 2018 December. I had done 36 transactions that year. The problem and I don't know if anybody's ever been on a team of not allowing recognition. So you would just pretty much be working, working, working. Team leader would get the client. So there was a lot of deals I wasn't able to show for because of that. The problem that I was running into is I was given a dilemma. I was given an ultimatum. And the ultimatum was December of 2018, just probably 25 days shy of 2019. I had no escrows, but I had done a very, very good job that year. I just had a dry December. And they said, listen, we need you to open a couple of escrows. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to have a fit for you next year. I said, how many do you guys need? They said two. And I opened five. Um, I opened five on December 31st of 2018. I quit. And I told him, I said, giving me that ultimatum made me realize the analogy that I gave them, and I will never forget it. And I am still very, very good friends with both of them. Is if you take a shark and put them in a small tank, they will never grow. It's time for me to go in the ocean, and I did. And within that, I went from a little home fish tank shark to a 9 foot, great white. And the reason why was I wasn't able to voice the things I was learning. And I think now the beauty about it is and this is something I always joke around is I'm getting calls from them asking me how I'm doing it. And the beauty of it is I'm still open hearted and humble enough to share, because none of this that I would be sitting in wouldn't have been if I didn't sign that 30% commission. You know, I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah, I love that. So, Pacific Realty Group was birthed at the beginning of 2019. So, if you look at your career, 2015, 16, 17, 18, for the first 4 years, and I like to think of this as like a going to college, right? You're paying for the experience and for the learning and education that you're getting. And obviously, from what you've said, like you wouldn't trade that for anything because it created you into the agent that you are. And then there's this tipping point, and this tipping point for people happens at different times and under different situations. But then it's this like, okay, I've built my skills, my confidence, my competence, and whether we just make a decision that it's time or something like in your instance happened that was a nice little push, to create the time for yourself and go, okay, it's time for me to stand on my own and take ownership and bet on me and not have a backup plan and not have anybody else there to catch me if I fall and really go do this thing. So, talk about what happened from 2019 until now in this section of your career. And then we're going to jump into the topic. And the reason why I'm spending so long on the actual pulling out and interviewing of your story is because for the people that are on this call listening, I really believe where you're at right now today is perfect. And everything that has now that has happened for you, not to you. Everything that has happened up till now has happened for you. And the question is, how are you using it? Are you using it like it's happened for you? And based on what's happened for you up until now, what's going to happen next after this conversation today in your business and in your life? So, Fadi, tell us about this, like this new window. You launched Pacific Realty Group
Yeah.
in 2019, and bring us from there to current.
So funny is 2019, I went and got a small office. I started Pacific Realty Group. I have this thing of coming up with names very easily. So I always help people with like company names. So I came up with Pacific Realty Group. Long story short, I went to the local mall and they had this little vendor that made stickers, and I grabbed a Pacific Realty Group sticker that was like 18 by 18, and I stuck it on the wall behind me, and that was my sign. And for 2 years, everybody's like, "When are you going to upgrade your sign?" I said, "You don't understand. This sign right here means a lot to me, right?" It's little, and I tried taking it off the old office to bring it to the new one. It didn't make it, but I I knew what it was to conduct a team. I knew what it looked like to conduct a team, and a huge reason, and I want to revert why I decided to leave, was because I realized we are all the master of like our own disaster. Like if we get into our own mindset and we start to collapse, like things that are coming our way, we might be getting messages that we're taking negative, but it's a way for us to develop and grow. So I looked at it in the mirror and said, you know what, respectfully, yeah, they are guiding me, but the the conversations, my apologies. I said, can you guys see me? Sorry, I said the conversations that are happening with clients are all happening with me. I knew that I was capable enough to, you know, uh, conduct the business on my own. So I started the team. My brother Abe got into lending, and we just started this little one-stop shop, uh, 8205 White Oak Avenue in Rancho. It was a 500 square foot office. I kid you not. It was two sardines. We couldn't even move. But the team started to grow organically. And I don't know if everybody's familiar, but I've been a very big partner with Zillow for quite some time. So we started to grow in 2019 with them very fast, and it started to allow us to attract more agents. We never really went over 10 agents at one time. I wasn't that type of person that wanted 100 people and had 98 not produce. I wanted everybody to be a producer. So we started to realize that, oh my God, everybody's doing one escrow a month. We should start to expand. Come 2022, we were at that office for quite some time growing, and come 2022, I looked at my brother and said, it's time. And we had enough money saved up, no loans. I did not come from a family that was able to help me. Everything was self-generated. Every penny, every shirt on my back, everything was self-generated. Then we started to take a risk, and I said, you know what? We went from a 500 square foot office to a total of 8,000 square feet of office space today. Every chair in the office is filled, and we run a team of 80 now. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is, especially in the world of EXP and all these other big brands, is it's good to be a builder. It's amazing to attract, because we need that talent to make the overall number strong. But we have to realize, for every 7 out of 10 agents, 7 of them are not transacting, plain and simple. And what we did was we created a program, and we've created a free environment for people to be in, this culture center that's allowing people to just develop in a way that I personally have never ever seen before. It's it's so spectacular. It's seeing people that if you were to have conversations with, you wouldn't think they would be capable of doing real estate. And then they become these rock stars, and the beauty of it is I've learned, and there's so many people that are doubted, so many people that are rejected, so many people that are not allowed in because of either the way they speak, or the way they dress, or the way they talk, or the way they walk. Every single person that comes into my office gets a spot on my team. The only way they get fired is if they don't plug in, and they fire themselves, because eventually they just can't keep up on the tracks. They just cannot. And they eventually get discouraged, and then realize that, oh, real estate may not be my thing. When agents leave our team, they're more than likely quitting real estate, because they've realized, if I can't do it here, I'm not going to be able to do it anywhere. We don't have desk space. We have state of the art office. We have people pumping their phones all day long. We have, I mean, every ancillary supporting business that you possibly need. We have everybody at the EXP world. It's like, if I had what I had today in 2017, I mean, God only knows where we would be.
I love that. So as you can see, like there's this, well, it's a perspective that I hold, and I know a lot of people hold, not everyone does, is that we're always in a state of growth or in a state of decline. There's no such thing as stability and kind of just riding it out and having things be the same, right? And I think that's what's really incredible, and want to acknowledge you for in your story and in your journey, is that you have intentionally kept yourself in a state of growth and being a student, right? So in those first 4 years, it was about growing by doing the work and who you were surrounded with and the environment that you were in. And then as you went out on your own, like now taking ownership of what that growth was going to look like for you, and building a culture and community of people that there would be a space and a fit for within that. So today's topic is, this journey from new agent to peak performer. And you've walked that journey yourself personally, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also guiding other people who want to walk that journey relative to what it is that they want. And that's, the thing about our business and our industry is everybody has a different drive, everybody has a different internal motivation, everybody has something different that they want from it. And yet there's this path and this journey to get in the industry and see success, and then continue in the industry and continue to grow in it as it continues to change and evolve, which it, is always going to do. So
Of
as we
course.
pivot into, the topic today, what do you think, like, where do you want to start this conversation about this, about the journey from new agent to peak performance?
Um, I would just the walk that I went on. just as true as it possibly could get. Just telling the story, telling the journey of barely making it on months, making sure that like I would go home 3, 4 months in a row with no money, making sure that the business stayed open, making sure that the mindset and the grit did not diminish. If a lot of people on the phone call probably don't personally know me in regards to how I am when a message is delivered to me, I'm either 1 or 10. I'm not in the middle. I either like my energy or my demeanor changes. Like I allow messages to ruin my day, right? And I don't anymore. I allowed it at the time. And that's the one thing I want to remind everybody, that there's a message in every delivery, and it's up to you to how you accept that message. I was always the one that, man, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, we couldn't grow. Why is this happening to us? First and foremost, rule number one is never quit, ever, especially on yourself. You're not allowing your mom down, your family down, your siblings down. You are allowing yourself down, right? You're putting yourself down. So with that being said, I feel like the true number one thing is never letting go. Um, Hearing the agents and their experiences on the team, figuring out what they need, hearing them out in regards to what you could possibly do as a leader to help them grow. And the one thing I always use in a real good analogy is, if anybody's ever been shooting, in a range or in the desert, you can be a person that has never shot a gun before, or archery, doesn't matter, whatever you're into. But if you go out with someone that's experienced, you will come back that day experienced. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. So when I use the analogy that I'm in the trenches and I go home with blood in my fingernails every day, I say to my team, I said, I still have blood on my hands too. It's because each and every day I am going to war alongside them. I see so many builders, I see so many team leaders, I see so many people that are so influential in the world. And then you have the ones that are not. And those are the ones that get agents to have those complacent mindsets. The team leaders that have been in the industry for 30 years and haven't sold a home in 12 but are still telling people what to do. Well, how is that possible? How? You need to know what it looks like to get a BRBC signed. You need to know what it looks like to get rejected. You need to know what it looks like to get kicked in the face because you drove an hour and the person didn't show up. You know, like after this call, I'm driving an hour and 20 minutes to go show 12 houses. This is me. This is what I'm doing. So I feel like just growing spiritually, mentally, physically. I mean, there was a lot of things that I had to change in order to grow, and a lot of things that I had to let go of. And it was tough. And there were some days where I didn't think we were going to make it. I really didn't. And I thank God every day we didn't let go, because that's the true meaning of grit.
Yeah. I was on the phone call with an agent that has been licensed and has a full-time career elsewhere, that's wanting to transition into real estate and is looking to let's see, looking to have, what was the language? It was looking to have something consistent that happens each month so that there was confidence in leaving the security of the, W-2. What would you say to somebody that is a newer agent or somebody wanting to get in the business that's coming from that perspective?
Do it. Because first and foremost, I think that the people that are willing to jump know know that their wings are strong enough. Like a bird, a mother bird never allows its bird to jump out or jump off of the branch until they know that they're strong enough. And like for instance, with the mindset of some of these people, I really think, like, if you think your wings are strong enough, then jump. The worst case scenario is you go back to a full-time job. Best case scenario is you create something that is so spectacular, so internally just energizing. The fact that I could walk in every day and see these people producing because of something that we built together is, I mean, it's lottery. It's lottery. Money's very, you can make a lot of money in real estate, Casey. It's making people money is the hard part. And that's what I think we've done.
Yeah, incredible. So, you referenced a couple of things and lessons, things that there were for you to change about yourself to be able to continue to grow to the next level. And I think that as challenging as that conversation can be, is, there's this principle that our business will never outgrow the level that we have grown personally. And that when things get to, always hit a ceiling or a wall and not move past that until we change something about ourselves. And most people don't like the discomfort of looking in the mirror to take that assessment and be honest about the fact that it might be time to change something in myself to be able to create a different or a better result outside of myself. And so, to whatever extent that you are open to sharing about that in the different times over the last, we'll call it 10 years of your experience and what you created and are creating, what were some of those catalysts where you realized there was things for you to change about yourself, and what were the things that you changed?
So this is a good one.
I know it wasn't planned. It just came up. I'm like, I really want to know the
I
answer to
would,
the
I
question.
would, I would have to say the things that I've changed were, and we're just going to be full transparent. I'm 36 years old, right? So I came from a nightlife. I used to go out a lot. I used to be around people that didn't really have the same movement, the same walk, the same talk. So dissecting who your circle is, figuring out the people that you're actually around, are they like-minded? They don't have to be in the same industry, but are they willing to grow? Like I have friends right now that if I called them, their intentions would go out Friday night, they would want to go and drink. But I have another group of friends that I call, they're like, you know what, let's have a cigar and talk about how we can get to 5,000 agents. So pick who your circle is. Um, Two, peeling the onion back no matter how many tears come. I peeled my own onion back layer by layer, trying to figure out who I was, what my purpose was. And every layer you remove is extremely painful because with that layer being removed, you have to let go of something you thought you loved. That is the most painful thing. And the pain that comes with that, Casey, is a pain of happiness, sadness, relieved, letting go of certain situations and certain things that have happened in the past. And for me, I have a grip of just like a gorilla, right? I don't let go of anything. It's very hard for me to let go of things. Letting go, having methodical responses, not being a person that no one wants to talk to. I mean, I wasn't easy. I wasn't easy. I was self-serving. I wanted everything. And I realized that I was hitting a ceiling because there's only so much of that you can build on your own, you know? But that peeling of the onion thing, I went all the way down to the root. I had to. I had to for the sake of my future and my family. I had to. And it's put me in a place right now where I can see right through someone. Can see right through someone. And the one thing, the biggest blessing of all this, I think, and she's never going to hear this, is my wife. If I didn't peel those onions back layer by layer, and I met my wife, I don't think my wife would have ever married me. She's peeling the onion back and figuring out who I was led me to having a human being in my life that keeps me so spiritually grounded and so motivated. It's like, take it all away. This is the team that I need. You know, because you search so many years trying to find that, regardless if it's in your business, in your friends, or in your spouse, that having a little bit of mixture of all. I mean, I went through 8 years of suffering. You know, the last 24 months is the since we officially moved to EXP, and this is not a recruiting call. This has nothing to do with it. Since we moved to EXP, we have skyrocketed. I'm talking about SpaceX. The reason why is the entire 8 years that I was working was I was peeling my own onion back. I got tired of it. I didn't have any higher accountability. What you and discussions you and I are having last night on a deep scale were just like I would never get that anywhere else. You know, I mean, my relationship with Leo P, being able to have conversations with the CEO of the largest company now in a real estate company in the world, it's like, when would have when would I have ever had this anywhere else if I didn't peel my onion back and be uncomfortable and get uncomfortable? I it was tough. It was tough and it still is tough because we're growing at such a fast scale that like you're not just hiring one or two agents. Like we brought on 36 new people, 36 brand new agents in the last like 40 days. So it's just continuous growth.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I love about you is your transparency. And it is not for the faint of heart to do a self-peeling layer by layer on the onion. And many people will choose a life of avoidance where they'll shop, drink, scroll for hours on social media, do anything to avoid actually having to look at oneself and in an honest assessment go, am I the best version of myself? Am I even in process of becoming the best version of myself? And what else is possible for me? And so I think it's so like refreshing actually because we're on a call with a bunch of real estate agents that obviously want to grow in their careers and their businesses, but to have this connection of business success and the direct connection to that of being willing to do what can be grueling and painful is to work on the human suit and the human that's going to go out and do all of that work and create the business is you don't get one without the other. So for the people that are on this call that want to create their version of what you've created, it's going to be their version of walking a path of peeling back the layers of the onion, some which might bring a lot of tears and be really uncomfortable and painful, but it's that day of reckoning with oneself, which is where is there the areas for me to learn, to grow, to change so that I can be better. And then when I bring a better me into my life, into my business, into my family, into my world, everything can now grow significantly around me. And I think about what you said just from like the company that we keep, right? So great check-in for agents. Like, what's the conversation of the agents that you're in conversation with? What's the energy when they're talking about the market? What's the energy when they're talking about who's sitting in office and what that has to do with what's happening in real estate for them? What's the energy of those conversations? And is it the environment and the conversation that's going to support you in growing and thriving during this time? Or is it something that's going to further hold you back or you hold yourself back because you're not becoming the person that's in conversations with people that are on a rocket ship of growth and committed to growing regardless of what's going on in any external circumstances? And so, Fadi, I think it's amazing that, and I always say, like, I really believe the past is perfect and that the best is yet to come. And to the extent that somebody's willing to get like in the trenches of that self work, which you have, and then in a demonstrable way, in a business sense, be in the trenches doing the physical work of actually building the business and building other people that are in business and are in business with you. What becomes possible is like, I feel like you're really just in so many ways getting started that we'll be able to see that when we look a year down the road, 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, and look back and connect the dots and go, remember the day that we were on the Free Friday coaching call and we were talking about the fact that you had 80 agents and that, that grew significantly because of the opportunities you had in front of you and the people that found out what your vision is. And I would love for you to share what that vision is, and then we're going to open it up for some questions. But
Of course.
I think it's really, when you look at just like this everything layered together. And what it takes is time. It's time under tension. It's like when you go to the gym and work out, it's how long are you holding the weight and are you moving the weight for? And it's that time under tension that determines the strength that gets built. And
Of
so you've
course.
got, you're 10 years into your time under tension changing, in all of the ways that it's changing. So let's talk about the future. Because when we were talking about your vision yesterday, I was like, man, that's really inspiring and it's unique to you. And when you said it, I got this feeling and energy in my own body, which was like, oh, that's happening. Like it's just a matter of time until that happens. It's totally happening. So tell us what
Yeah.
that is.
1,000 agents producing one a month. That will be my goal. The goal is to recruit any agent that's willing to grow, any agent that wants to be a part of my team. It doesn't matter if they're part of EXP already, not part of my downline. I don't care. And everybody knows my downline, it's not, it's great, right? It's cool, but it's like 19 people. It's not a lot, right? Not like 10,000 like some of these other people. It's not that way. I'm a team leader. Pacific Realty Group is my baby, and the people that are on it are my family. I have to make sure that they're fed. I'm a testimony walking. I can put 5 agents right now in front of any agent and let them know that they signed with us less than 25 days ago and they're going on their first or second escrow. And I'm talking about people that have zero experience. Zero. Some of them are growing extremely fast. And here's something where I want to share is like plug in, making sure that people are staying. Like I make it a requirement if they're going to be on my team, they have to be in the office at least once a week, at least.
What are the other standards that you have?
Just plugging. I want someone that has drive and not knowledge. I'd rather take drive than knowledge all day. I have, I'll give you an example. My little brother Sammy, 25 years old, been in the industry for less than 12 months. I'll put him up against anybody. Anybody. I don't care who it is. I will put him up against anybody, including myself. And I asked him how he did it, and he just showed up every day. So he's there Monday through Friday and excelling and now becoming a person that's only been in the industry for almost 12 months now. And he's helping people that have been in for 5 or 6 years. Why? It's exactly what you said about the gym. The repetition that you get being a part of our organization and any other team that can deliver what we're delivering. It's not just me. There are other bigger teams out there that can do what I do. Is the repetition, the repetition. You are having conversations every single day, whether it's with an opportunity, an AKA listing or buyer. We call them opportunities because they're not a buyer or a seller until you get them signed. So they're an opportunity until then. And just the growth of the mindset of being able to have conversations with you and people that are so much more influential in the real estate game and taking those tidbits back to my team. It's daily growth. It's daily ingredients that can't stop. And even on the days where like I don't want to show up, I have to remind myself it's not that 5x5 office anymore. It's bigger than that. And the one thing I wanted to just share with everybody too, and this is something that's super, super important to me, is the whole reason why I moved to EXP. By the way, I was with Real before. If anybody wants to have a conversation with that, I'd love to tell them my experience. I moved to EXP, and that big fish that's always swimming in the ocean with a small fish under it. I wanted to be that small fish again. I wanted to be that small fish again. Before I moved, I was the big fish. Now I'm the small fish, thinking that okay, 1,000 agents is not hard to get to. How do we get there? And you and I talked about it. Is duplicating the system that we've already created and not even recruiting. I hate that word. I want to invite people in to just see the world of success we've built. If you are a timid agent, I love you, come over. If you are an agent that doesn't know how to have a conversation, come over. If you are an agent that I don't care what stage you are in, coming over to this program that we've created will double or triple your business. Guarantee it.
I love that. Well, I'm excited for your vision and seeing how it comes to reality. And I think that you're a great example of somebody who is internally motivated. Nobody needs to get you to say to get up and work. You don't need accountability per se. Like people that are internally motivated and driven and hungry and working don't need accountability. So many people are out there looking for accountability to get them to do the things that there are to do to create the success that they want to create. And the truth is, hunger takes care of that.
Of
And
course.
the accountability, be accountable to yourself. Like hold yourself accountable to the numbers that you're doing because that's what you need. You don't need someone else holding you accountable. Keep yourself accountable. And that is, leadership from the inside out. So I want to acknowledge you for the space that you've created. I think your vision's amazing. I see it happening sooner than you probably would imagine. And most importantly, the lives of just, I think about the impact that happens as a result of that vision coming to life, right? 1,000 agents doing one transaction a month, and the families that are on the other side of that transaction, the agents' families that have, a thriving agent household where they're able to, live the life they want to live and do the business that they want to do, and just the ripple effect that will be created for so many people as a result of your vision and your dedication and inspiration to get up and make that happen. So, would love to open it up for any comments, questions, feedback from anyone. I know it's been content rich and we've gone, the full spectrum here. And even a takeaway. What's one thing that you're going to take away from the call today, or one thing that struck you, or one thing that was disruptive in the way that you think, or one thing that as you heard it, you're like, ooh, that hit a little close to home.
Yeah, I would love to hear it.
And when you come off of mute, let us know your name and what market you're in and how long you've been in the industry. Gianna said, pick our circle, never quit.
Gianna's actually she just joined our team.
I love it. Let's see. We've got a question in here. What systems do you have in place to help people achieve these goals?
Oh yeah, so this is huge. So first and foremost, it's not the cream of the crop. It's the cherry on top. We call it is our Zillow connections. Um, we are in a situation. We're not a situation. We're in a partnership right now where we need more agents. But for instance, first and foremost, we receive anywhere between 200 to 300 new clients a month right now from the Zillow organization. We're a direct partner with them. We have been promised 750 new people by July, a month. So to answer your question, one system is you will always be busy. Two, follow up boss and all your CRMs are all paid for by me. I don't. There's no overhead coming to our team or our office. Um, the reason why I don't have any desk fees or any fees at all is because 99% of brokerages stay alive from the agents that don't produce that pay a monthly fee. If I close my doors, it's because no one's actually transacting, not because I'm not taking a monthly membership fee. So I don't want to stay open because of how some of these other people, oh, $200 a month for you to be a part of this or that. I don't do that. So free space, free environment, free plugin. It's up to you to see how much you want to charge your battery. You want to go to 100%, come in every day. You know, I have part-time agents right now that are working for the city of Los Angeles that work just on the weekends. I have one gentleman by the name of Eric that is part-time. He's going on his seventh escrow in 3 months since he started with us, and he only works 2 days a week. So the systems are there to help you, and they're all cost basis. I feel like if you're not having to struggle and worry about certain payments for stuff in real estate, you work better. Why stress a brand new agent out for $500 a month on their CRM? They don't need to be worried about that. I'll deal with that. What's more important um, is having them produce and having them fall in love with the game of real estate.
Yeah, I love that. And you're in the Rancho area in Southern California, Rancho Cucamonga to be specific. So agents that are in and near that marketplace, who knows, it may be a fit for you guys to collaborate and to work together. Interesting,
Yeah.
that brings up a question, right? Because I'm sure there's people thinking it, well, how am I going to see the success that you're seeing in real estate if I don't have a Zillow Flex account or if I'm not a Zillow partner? So will you talk about the ratio of business that you do from Zillow versus non-Zillow?
50-50, 60-40 sometimes. Primarily, a lot of our new agents are feeding off of Zillow, and a lot of our senior and tenured agents have both Zillow and their personal. So the reason why I say the cream of the crop and not the cherry on top, or it's the cream of the crop, is because a lot of the successful agents that we're seeing right now have personal business and online business. Both of them are collaborating and they're growing fast. But for the agents that don't have it, do exactly what everybody else did. Open houses are still on. Door knocking is available. COVID's been over for God only knows how many years now. COVID's been over and people just stopped door knocking. The law got lifted years ago, right? So those types of things, being involved in work chat on EXP, being involved and being able to have access to so many big brands and big names in the industry. It's not all about the online lead generating, because respectfully, I have seen so many people fail that if they don't have the foundation personally, I can feed them 100 clients a month and they'll still fail. I've seen it. I have agents right now that have started at the same time. I have one agent right now that's received, well, he's no longer with us. He's received over 100 calls and he hasn't been able to convert. Then I had another agent that came on and received 5 calls and converted 2. The agent that converted 2, guess the difference. They were hungry. The other agent didn't need the money. They came from a family that had money. They didn't care. They just showed up and they thought that their license, that's what it is. It's here. And I just want to remind everybody, and this is where it's going to get painful for a lot of you. In the world of real estate, it is very easy to look rich. I want to remind everybody, in the world of real estate, it is very easy to look rich. And what I mean by that is pay attention to the people that you are surrounding yourselves with. There are a lot of people in the real estate industry that are dressed glam, but if you pull up their numbers, they're not achievers. They're just showing up to events to be glorious and to have this Instagram fame, and all of that is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If you took my Instagram away right now, I would still outperform 98% of people. No business comes from that. Everybody says, well, I'm going to use my social media. Well, no business comes from that. You need to go back to the roots of what it takes to become successful. Showing up at 9 a.m., regardless if you're getting a paycheck or not. Being dressed, don't work, or I work better from home. Who put that out there? I work better from home. How so? If you have a Zoom call or something like that, okay, fine. Today it benefited me to work from home because I have to go up somewhere that's closer to my house. I didn't go to the office. But having that daily repetition of just plugging in is extremely important, because the more you do it, the less habits you keep from the past. Plain and simple. You need to alter that mindset. And trust me when I tell you, I am the one person who never thought that I could break habits. But I was so busy and so plugged in that I forgot about those habits. I just forgot about them.
One of the quotes that I love, and when I heard it the first time, it was I had to sit and really think about it, and it was about our beliefs. And I was introduced to this definition of what a belief is, because it's like, well, this is what I believe, and so what I believe dictates how I see things and how things are going to happen based on my beliefs. This is what I believe, right? And uh, the definition of that I heard that I've forever taken on is a belief is nothing more than a thought that I choose to think over and over. And if you want to change what you believe, take the thought that you're thinking over and over and change that thought to
You have to.
one that's going to serve you and to one that's going to support you, right? And one by one, as you change those thoughts that you think over and over in your mind, what you believe about yourself, about the world, about other people changes. And oh, by the way, then so do all of the results and outcomes associated with it. Right. So, it's powerful. We forget, I think, so often. We forget or discount or discredit that when we have a thought, it creates a chemical reaction in the body. That chemical reaction creates some kind of emotion, and that emotion is going to drive some kind or restrict some kind of behavior, which is going to produce the end result and the outcome. And all of that goes back to getting clear on, is what I'm thinking, the thoughts that I'm thinking, are they forming and developing and growing beliefs that are going to support the outcomes that I want? And if not, what is there for me to change about the way that I think, and how is there for me to think such that that thought, when it produces that chemical reaction in the body called a feeling, is the one that's going to align where I'm going to go take action regardless, because it's aligned with what I want to create and the outcomes that I want to produce. And so, the the people that become the most, now I'll say this, there's people that see success and that blow it up in their lifestyle through poor choices, and then they'll rebuild and see success and sabotage it and blow it up in their lifestyle for some reason or another. But people that create a long-term sustainable success over time, not the ones where there's not failures, there's always failures, but there's it in the absence of some kind of sabotage, are ones that are rigorous in this, looking at what do I think and believe, where is there for me to change that, and then continuing, like never ending that onion peeling process, because I think of it like an upgraded system on a computer, right? I'm about to be 50 years old, so I'm Casey 5.0, and Casey 5.0 does not look like Casey 4.0 in any way, shape, or form. No, nor do I want her to. So, the question that I asked myself, that question, well, what's the full version of Casey 5.0? Like, it's getting ready to roll out in May. What else is there for me to change? What else is there for me to align? What else is there for me to improve? What else is there for me to let go of? What else is there for me to say yes to that I haven't been willing to, because I haven't wanted the responsibility or the commitment or whatever, but it's going to serve me, right? Like all of that inventory and that upgrade, like only we can upgrade ourselves. And we all know people that will go through life and don't upgrade at all. Well, this is who I am. This is how it is. This is how it's been my whole life.
Yeah.
This is just the way it is. And it will be for those
I
people.
love I love those people, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they're great because you know that 20
Yeah.
years from now, they'll be in the same exact conversation in the same exact spot as they are today. So you really haven't missed anything if you don't see them for 20 years. It's going to be just more of the same, right?
There's a thing I always tell my team: move a muscle, change a thought.
Mm,
On
love,
the days that I never feel like working out, those days I choose to like go on a walk is the best workouts I ever have. Or best walks I ever have. Or best my wife's pregnant now and she wants to go walk around. I don't really feel, I'm tired. She's like, let's just go. And we come back, I'm like, I needed that, you know? Like
yeah,
it's just move a muscle, change a thought.
I
So
love that. We've got one final question. Do you require that everyone on your team put their personal leads into your CRM?
absolutely not. I don't need any of those. I've never needed them. If they choose to put them in, they can have them in a separate tab or separate file because the systems we use are so integrated. It's like if we're seeing a lot of success from incubating leads on our CRM, it would just be beneficial for you to add that to yours so you can get more people biting. Otherwise, I, I am. If some people see the way I run my team, they wonder how I make the money. And I'm just like, because I'm like, keep it. I don't need it. I don't want your personal. We don't even take, I don't take splits from people until they cap. Like, if an agent's on a $4,000 cap, I don't take anything from them until they cap, or an $8,000 cap, or 16. We offer four because we're a mega team. But like if you're on a 16K cap, we have agents that will pay EXP their 20% until they hit 16. If not, we never take any money from them on their personal transactions. It's
Amazing.
not, who am I? And here's one thing I do want to just, this is why a huge reason why I left the team per that question. I was working for years not being able to take the recognition and the ownership of my hard earned work. And I don't want to be the person or the team leader take away your referrals or your sphere because I am larger than you. That is stupid. And I don't think it's fair because if like my team, if somebody gets a Zillow call and hey, I want to sell my home, I don't care if that person was licensed yesterday. Their sign is going in the ground. And you can ask them. I order their listing signs for them. I put it in the ground because I tell myself when that person shows up to the office the next day, it's going to be a completely different human being.
I love it. Well, to recap, because we're getting close to the top of the hour, I
Yes.
think that success leaves clues. Uh, number one, be an eternal student, which is you are and have been, and continue to put yourself in that space. And once you learn it, give it away and pay it forward. And then as you continue to do that, the impact that you're going to make, it will create a ripple effect that is immense. And the foundation of all of that is being willing to grow as a human and continue to perpetually keep yourself in that state of growth. And I mean, kudos to you. You're leading by example, based on results, creating amazing things. Thank you so much for showing up for our community and being willing to share, and looking forward to updates as this vision
Yes.
comes to reality. Um, we have a message from Gianna that says, I moved already 3 teams. I joined Fadi's last month and I already feel the difference. I'm so thankful for you, Fadi.
Thank you, Gianna.
All
That
right.
was an unpaid. That was an unpaid sponsorship. I promise. Everybody, you have a blessed weekend, Casey. Thank you so much for everything. Thank
Thank
you.
you everyone for being here. The recording
Thank
will
you.
be on Empire Builders Pro under the resources tab.
Thank you, Casey. Bye bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.